deep diver. Oh, I have swooped and swerved across the sunlit surface, leaving but a trail of bubbles in my wake. Through channels to kelp forests, I twist and turn my silky body. I tumble, wheel, loop, as the open sea plays on rolling waves. I slip, slide, like eel but faster. Twist, turn, like newt but keener. Dance, dip, like minnow but smarter. I have done 1,000 things that you could only dream of. Down, down the long, unwinding, darkened blue, where never cod or dolphin ever knew. Deep, deep, deeper I dive, where only silence dwells. I am the master of this world, where neither fox or man has ever been. Yes, birds can fly, but I can swim, swim, dipping to the depths of secret thoughts.
Cats can hear anything. They can hear quietness. They can hear the twitch of a mouse's ears. If we're all quiet, like this, my cat Barney can hear it. His ears are like detectives. They seek out mice, and he eats them for a snack.
T-Rex, T-Rex, marching through the trees, leaving massive footprints in the mud and leaves. Pteranodon, Pteranodon, soaring through the sky. Watch his giant shadow as he flies by. Mosasaur, Mosasaur, swimming out and free, crunching giant turtles, filling his tummy. Archelon, Archelon, swimming in the sea with a smooth brown shell and a big strong beak. Triceratops, Triceratops, with his frill-like crown, scaring off his enemies, looking very proud. Stegosaurus, Stegosaurus, with hardly any brain. Attacked by an Allosaurus, now he is in pain. Allosaurus, Allosaurus, with his whopping claws, slashing any intruders onto the cold floor. You've met these crazy dinosaurs. Now it comes, the night, and all the fearsome dinosaurs have to tuck up tight.
Sad. Sadder than ever. Why do I have to be alone? Coronavirus has destroyed me and the world. We are in masks. Less time to save the planet, but the clock is ticking. And less time till I'm free. And free. Less time till I'm free. My mother is at work. That makes me sad still, but I have to be brave. I have to be a warrior. And as I say, the clock is ticking. And less time till I'm free. Free. Less time till I'm free.
It wasn't running away. I left the quiet assembly, sick of men in suits and scripted words and podiums and sound bites and breaking news and death tolls and emergencies, and because we never normally all watch TV at 4:45. Most tiring is the war about how to feel. What is correct? What is reasonable? What is panic? I try to sink into the silence of a page, snuff out the screams with stronger sound. Beauty can still be found in capsules, and no one has rationed it. I turn up the volume too loud because it is a better kind of drowning. Blast all the seedlings of anxieties out with the splendor. Sear the gathering clouds with the blinding white heights of each moment. This moment is small. The notes have never changed, and it was not running away.
Sometimes I sit and ponder on what is underground. Is it all there, just waiting to be found? Are there castles of ants surrounded by moats of lava? Or gangs of moles, all wearing balaclava? There could be treasure chests deep, deep down. There could be bones of kings still wearing their crown. What if there were riches beyond our imagination? Or many, many people, even an entire civilization? Maybe witches and wizards banished centuries ago. Or maybe things buried away, like a UFO. Most of it is there, all year round, and we could find it all if we explore the mysteries of the underground.
Food will taste great again. Silverware will make its gracious clink. The bowl full of clementines won't mock you anymore. The moon will shine serene above the dishes in the sink. You'll smell the first mown grass of spring on just another day. All at once you'll find you smiled. The mundane, splendidly mundane. It'll be okay. Music will hold you in its grasp. Sleep will satisfy the aching night. Squinting in the sun, you will rise, glad to take for granted the habit of delight.
Your dust-kicking feet glide across the ground like birds in the sky. Your instinct dives and ducks like waves on a windy day. The unfurling curtains of green shadow you like the bodies of monsters. You walk and stumble over varnished tree roots, and you run. Run until your place in the world has gone, until you find yourself lost.
Privilege is taken, businesses shut. Nazis took no pity in the life I was trying to live, because I was a Jew. The yellow Star of David stitched to my sleeve, it distinguished me from my friends, set me apart, because I was a Jew. Forced into a ghetto, the inhumane people. Inhumane is what it was, starvation, disease, and I was there because I was a Jew. Standing for days in a tiny cattle truck, crowded with 100 people, the stench of the dead unbearable. I wasn't worthy of a breath of fresh air because I was a Jew. I was stripped of my belongings and my soul. I was told I did not deserve such things because I was a Jew. Herded into a line, deemed to be fit or maybe acceptable, the children led to their deaths at once, and I to mine. Work, because I was a Jew. My morals were broken and my body beaten. Work will set you free, but I was only trapped because I was a Jew. Stick thin and delirious with pain and hunger, never to be graced with so much more than a crust of stale bread, because I was a Jew. Seeing one by one the people failing to reach standards, one by one dying or being killed, I had to watch, because I was a Jew. As a child, my imagination was wild with dreams. None of them mattered in an extermination camp, though, because I was a Jew. riddled with parasites and diseases in my body and my mind. My health was a burden to them, not worth it, because I was a Jew. Covering my ears with my arms and crying one last time, shot for not having the stamina to carry on anymore, because I was a Jew. How can you do that to another human? But to them, I wasn't a human. I was a Jew.
So you bottle it up. But you were taught at school that there's only a certain pressure a given volume can take. And it's true. Pop. It comes tumbling out. Flop. Nothing to stop it. It crashes out. Doesn't know where it's going. Lashing out. When your mind is a skittering, scuttling, chucking, and you can't keep up with the speed. Take a breather. Slow. Let it go. It'll get better, you know? You're off again. Off and away. Family and friends watch you fade as you sway. Come back. Don't go. You've people to meet and places to see. But you slip out of grasp immediately.
I will put in the box an endangered black panther in the lushest forest, Greek Amazon armour in an acacia case, and every tip of knowledge in the world. I will put in the box a sun with a cheery, sparkling smile, a drop of golden unicorn blood, a spark of a firework in a crystal container. I will put in the box 5 scarlet riddles whispered in Greek, the last wisp of wind the earth will feel, and the first sight of the outside world. I will put in the box the curl of an ammonite shell twisted into a fossil, a jet black lion with feathered wings, and a dusty yellow Pegasus with paws and a glorious mane. My box is forged from water and lava, pressed into a seal of elements. It contains desires and mysteries waiting to be unleashed out of their prison. The lid is the backbone of a white giraffe, and the hinges are the joints of a stegosaurus. I will dive in my box into the brightest oceans, creating my own creatures, and I will stay there forever in my magic box.
The competition season started up. I entered one and hoped for luck. After that, I felt so bored, stuck in hope of some award. I fell asleep, thinking this ain't fun. Didn't know I'd entered the wrong one. And before I knew it, I was here. The Young Poet Laureate for Worcestershire. I told them I was from Milton Keynes, and I didn't know what laureate means. I admitted I'd made some mistake. Pick someone else, for heaven's sake. But my folks could not have been more proud. You're going, son, they said out loud. We'll meet again sometime next year. And shipped me off to Worcestershire. I was put up in some hotel, where they brought me pillows when I rang the bell. They treated me so unbelievably nice, but pretty soon I paid the price. The hotel attendant came in my room and said, "Boy, you better be off soon. You can't just sit around in here when you're the Young Poet Laureate for Worcestershire." I met the county's governor when I went out to ask him what to write about. He said, "Why don't you write about the monuments?" I said, "Well, that makes some sense." I said, "Do I have to write in 12-point font?" He said, "You can write whatever the hell you want." I said, "Sir, I've just got to make it clear. I've never been to Worcestershire." He smiled and tapped me on the thigh. "Not to worry, son. You're our guy." I went into the city, began to roam. to make myself feel more at home. In Worcestershire, they already knew my name. I started to enjoy my newfound fame. Some pointed out when I came near. "Psst, he's the young poet laureate for Worcestershire." I called my friends up on the phone whenever I felt quite alone, but they just didn't seem to understand why I took on a role of such high demand. They laughed at me, but I didn't mind. My new success made me feel just fine. Who cares if they think it's queer to be the young poet laureate for Worcestershire? As the young poet laureate, it was my job to ensure the library was never robbed. Sitting there with my notepad and pen, thinking of what to write again, a man came up, said, "Who are you?" I said, "It's about time you knew. Not to blow my own trumpet here, but I'm the young poet laureate for Worcestershire." On him, I seemed to leave a dent. He picked up on my southern accent. I'm pretty sure he told someone, because the next day something was wrong. My face was all over the county news as the imposter who began a ruse. It's a pretty tricky mess to clear for the young poet laureate for Worcestershire. I left the library, tried to run away, but an officer caught me, told me to stay. A riot began somewhere inside. Soon it had spread county-wide. Someone kicked off in a rant. Then the whole crowd began to chant, "It's wrong that he ain't from round here. Well, he's the young poet laureate for Worcestershire." I was arrested, handcuffed, there and then. I was taken to the station when they slapped a sentence onto me to make sure I had no time free. The regulations got me somewhat sad. I wouldn't even get a pen and notepad. Perhaps I wouldn't be so cavalier in a jail cell in Worcestershire. Then the governor stepped out of his car. He said, "Now I know exactly who you are." I said, "I told you, and you said it was fine." "It was," he said, "but now my job's on the line. Besides, there's something else I've heard. You haven't written a single word." No more complimentary hotel ginger beer for the young poet laureate for Worcestershire. I was hurled into a darkened cell. This one didn't have a bell. With another young man I shared, who listened to me while I despaired. Eventually, he said, "Boy, have some cheer. I can get us both out of here. This exact same business happened to me when I was the young poet laureate for Oswestry." I said, "I highly doubt that we can break free." He said, "Don't worry, man. I've got the key." We escaped there in the dead of night and ran till we were out of sight. A few miles south, we parted ways and walked off into the sunrise haze. His last words to me were, "Boy, don't fear. Get the hell out of Worcestershire." So I did. I returned back home to Milton Keynes, with the bullet holes still in my jeans. My folks were only a bit displeased, said they'd fill the holes in my knees. I asked how they could do this to me. They said it was in the name of poetry. Things finally became normal round here, unlike the scenes in Worcestershire. I'm no longer welcome, from what I hear, of the goings-on in Worcestershire. Every window's got my mugshot in, and to speak my name's a forbidden sin. Nevertheless, I'm proud to the bone. When I die, I want it on my tombstone. Look at this. It says right here, he was the young poet laureate for Worcestershire. I woke up with a start from my bed, realised it was all in my head. Then I could go back to sleep. I was no longer in trouble deep. Thinking of some competition rhyme. I'll never win, but that's just fine. But luckily, I'm nowhere near to being the young poet laureate for Worcestershire.